Today I'm going to show you how to repair a stripped out screw inside of a door jamb. So sometimes the hinges, what ends up happening is you end up with a screw that gets stripped out and it won't hold the hinge any longer. So what you do is at a hardware store you can buy wood dowels, and they come in different sizes, and you can use this for any application, whether it's a larger screw or a smaller screw. In this case I'm using it's about a 1/8 inch piece of dowel, and what I've done is I've cut little pieces of dowel off of that, if you can see this right here. So the little pieces of dowel I've shaved on my table saw. I just cut a couple of pieces, so all three screws in the one hinge were actually stripped out. So I'm going to show you how to fix that stripped out screw using these little three dowels here that I've cut from this big one right here. So now what I've done is I've taken that bit that I've cut off, that dowel, and I've got a drill bit, and what I did was I taped onto the drill bit the distance of that dowel that's going to go inside of the wood. And as you can see, I set it so that way I have a guide so I don't plunge any deeper than this point right here when I go to screw into that door jamb. So now I'll go ahead and I'll route out each one of those holes to make it the proper size to this. We'll put glue on this, and then we will tap this into that hole and let it dry. Now, as I've said before, you can see each one of these holes has been stripped out by the screws that were in there previously. So what we're going to do is we're going to route out each hole, and then we're going to replace each one with the dowel with wood glue on it, and then that way it'll seat in there and make it nice and tight, and then we can drill a new hole inside of the existing one and repair that stripped out screw hole. So we'll apply some wood glue onto this dowel. And coat that generously all the way around it. It's best if you have a towel handy or something like that for when you go to put these dowels in. Clean up a little bit of the glue off your hands. Then just tap that right in. There's one. So now, as you can see, each one of the holes now has a dowel in it that is glued in there and fit. And we'll come back as soon as that dries, and we will drill a new smaller pilot hole so when we go to put the hinges in, they seat perfectly. Okay, so now we've had plenty of time for the dowels to go ahead and dry and gotten seated in there really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put the new hinge on. We're going to put the actual two hinges, we're going to screw them in first, then we'll drill the pilot holes for each one of these because they really have to line up well when you're putting a new hinge on for a door. Okay, now as you can see, we've got the hinge lined up. So we're going to drill the pilot holes for each one of these so that way we can get it put in, and we want to get it as exactly on center as we can. There we go, lined up perfectly. Dowels and glue, that's pretty much all it takes. You tap those in with a hammer and it seats the new screws in there and holds this hinge nice and tight. Hey, if you like this video and you want to see more home improvement tips, be sure to subscribe to my page. I'll be doing more in the near future. Thanks.